Hello everyone, myself Heli Mehta, working as an assistant professor in computer engineering department at Mahatma Gandhi Institute of Technical Education and Research Center, Navsari. Our subject is computer network. Our unit is 5, that is data link layer. So today our topic is multiple access protocol. The data link layer is responsible for transmission of data between two nodes. As we know, data is transmitted in a frame format between two nodes. Its main functions are data link control and multiple access controls. Okay, so data link control. The data link control is responsible for reliable transmission of message over transmission channel by using technique like framing, error control and flow control. This concept I have already explained in the previous lectures. Okay, today our topic is multiple access control. If there is a dedicated line between the sender and receiver, then the data link control layer is sufficient. Okay, if there is a line between sender and receiver, then data is sent reliability. However, if there is no dedicated line present, then multiple station can access the channel simultaneously. We have a multiple station, and if there is no dedicated line link between the sender and receiver, then multiple station can access the channel at the same time. Okay, multiple access protocols are required to decrease collision and avoid cross talk. Let's take the example in classroom full of students. When teacher asks a question and all the students start answering simultaneously. Okay, teacher asks one question and all the students are giving reply at the same time. Okay, then the data overlap or data loss is occur. Okay, teacher cannot hear the answer properly, or data may be lost. Okay, so at the time of, then it's the job of teacher, okay, to manage the students and make them answer one at a time. So only one student can give the answer at a time. Okay, so thus protocols are required for sharing the data on non-dedicated channel. Okay, so to avoid the data loss or to avoid the data overlap, okay, multiple access protocol need to manage the only one channel can send the data at a particular time. Okay, so this is the concept. So in multiple access protocol we have a three subdivisions. First is random access protocol, second is control access protocol, and third is channelization protocol. Okay, so in today's lecture we will see random access protocol. So random access protocol are further divided into four parts, that is Aloha, CSMA, CSMA CD and CSMA CA. Okay, so first is random access protocol. In these all stations have the same superiority, that there is no station have more priority than another station. Okay, any station can send data depending on the medium state. Okay, so in this, suppose I have a 5 stations. Okay, so there is no station have a more priority and no station have a less priority. Okay, every station have a same priority and any station can send data depending on that medium state. Okay, so any station can send the data at their time. It has a two features. There is no fixed time for sending data. Okay, so there is no time for any station to sending the data, and there is no fixed sequence of station sending data. Okay, so there is no fixed time to sending data and there is no fixed sequence to sending the data. The random access, as name suggests, random access protocols are further subdivided as first is Aloha. Okay, second is CSMA, next is CSMA CD, and next is CSMA CA. Okay, so first is Aloha. It was designed for wireless LAN, but it also applicable for shared medium. In this, multiple station can transmit data at the same time. As I have explained, suppose I have a 10 station, so all 10 station can transmit the data at the same time. Okay, and it can hence lead to collision and data being grabbed. Okay, so multiple station can transmit the data, so problem of collision is maximum. Okay, so first is pure Aloha. When a station sends data, it waits for an acknowledgement. Okay, we all know the concept of acknowledgement very well. We have a sender and we have a receiver. Sender send the data to receiver, and after successfully receive the data, receiver send acknowledgement to sender. Okay, if the acknowledgement doesn't come within the allocated time, okay, acknowledgement doesn't come in a particular time, the station waits for a random amount of time. Okay, this time is is called back of time. Okay, and resend the data. Since different station wait for different amount of time, the probability of the further collision is decreased. Okay, so in this scenario, sender send the data and receiver receive the data. After receiving the data successfully, receiver send the acknowledgement. But if in a particular time period sender not receive the acknowledgement, then it resend the data. Okay, so at every stations the different amount time waiting time is different, so probability of collision can decrease. Okay, pure Aloha is an unslotted. Okay, we are not giving the slot to particular station. All station can send data at their particular time. Decentralized and simple to implement a protocol. In pure Aloha, the station simply transmit frames whenever they want data to send. It does not check whether the channel is busy or not before transmitting. Okay, suppose channel number 5 wants to send the data, then they can send the data. They will never see the another channels is busy or not before transmit the data. In this case, 2 or more stations transmit simultaneously at the same time. The collision occurs and frames are destroyed. Okay, so whenever any station transmit a frame, it expects the acknowledgement from the receiver. Okay, if it is not received within a specific time, the station assume that the frame or acknowledgement has been destroyed. So the station wait for a random amount of time and send the frame again. This scheme works well in the small network when we have a small number of networks, but where the load is not much. Okay, but in the large loaded network, this scheme is fail. Okay, this lead to a development of the slotted Aloha. Okay, so pure Aloha is a good for a network, small network. Okay, where no load is less, but when load is large, then we have to develop the slotted Aloha. Okay, in pure Aloha, system in which multiple users share a common channel in a way that can lead to conflict are widely known as a contention system. Whenever 2 frames try to occupy the channel at the same time, okay, remember 2 or more station. 2 frames try to occupy the one channel at the same time. So channel is 1 and 2 frame try to occupy it at the same time. There will be a collision and both will be grabbed. Okay, both frames must be destroyed. If the first bit of a new frame overlaps with just the last bit of the frame almost finished, both frames will be totally destroyed and both will have to be retransmitted again. If the last bit of the first frame and the first bit of the second frame is overlap with each other, then both frame must be destroyed. Okay, see in the diagram. Here station 1 send the data frame 1.1. Here station 1 send another frame, that is frame 1.2. Now station 2 send the data frame 2.1 and here we have a still frame 1.2. So this portion of frame is overlap with this portion of frame. Okay, so this frame must be destroyed. Okay, frame 1.2 also and frame 2.1 also. Now see in the station 2 and station 3. Station 2, here we have a frame. Okay, starting of the frame. Okay, and at station 3, here we have a half frame here and half frame here. So this portion of frame is overlap with this portion of frame. So these 2 frame must be destroyed. So this is what I explained. If the first bit of the new frame overlap with the just last bit of the frame almost finished, then also we have to destroy the both frames. Okay, and retransmitted this frame again. So here so many portion of the frame is overlap. See in the diagram. Okay, here also overlapping is performed. So we have to destroy all the frames and we have to retransmit the frame again. Okay, so it will also very time consuming. So we have to develop the slotted Aloha. Okay, so in pure Aloha, frames are transmitted at a completely arbitrary time. The throughput of the pure Aloha is maximized when the frames are of uniform length. Okay, so frame size must be uniform. To formulate the formula to calculate the throughput of the pure Aloha is S is equal to G into E raised to minus 2G. You have to remember this formula. The throughput is maximum when G is equal to 1/2, which is the 18% of the total transmission data frame. So you have to just remember this equation S is equal to G into e raised to minus 2G. This is the throughput calculation of pure Aloha. So next we will see slotted Aloha. It is similar to pure Aloha, but we divide the time into slots and sending of the data is allowed only at the beginning of this slot. Okay, suppose I have a 5 stations. Okay, so we divide the slots and we give the slots to all 5 stations, and all 5 stations must be start sending the frame at a particular time. Okay, so they have to sending of data is allowed only at the beginning of the time slot. Okay, if a station miss out the allowed time, okay, suppose they are not start their sending of the frame at a particular given time, it must wait for the next slot. Okay, this reduce the probability of collision. So as name suggests, slotted Aloha, every station have to follow their given time. Okay, there is still a possibility of collision if 2 stations try to stand at the beginning of the same time, but still the number of collision that can possibly take place is reduced by a large margin and the performance become much well compared to pure Aloha. So simply we have to remember, in slotted Aloha every station must have to follow their time periods. Okay, so it was invented to improve the efficiency of pure Aloha, as chances of collision in pure Aloha are very high. The time of the share channel is divided in 2 discrete interval called slots. Okay, so we are giving some slots to every station. At that time they have to send the frames. The station can send the frames only at the beginning of the slot, and only 1 frame is sent in each slots. Okay, so they have to follow that rules. See here we have a station 1. So station 1 send this frame. Okay, after that station 1 send this frame after in this time. Okay, when this frame is completed, station 2 will send the frame. Okay, station 2 is sending frame like this. Here collision is occur. Okay, due to some problem, if 2 stations have a same time of sending, here again collision is occur. Okay, here no collision is occur, so possibility of collision is reduced. Okay, totally collision is not avoided, because as I have explained here, the station can send a frame only at the beginning of the time slot, and only 1 frame is sent in each slot, but the starting period of 1 frame is same, then it is possible that of the collision. Now in slotted Aloha, see here, if any station is not able to place the frame onto the channel at the beginning of the slot, then station has to wait, okay, until the beginning of the next slot. The formula to calculate the throughput of the slotted Aloha is S is equal to G into e raised to minus G. In pure Aloha we have a G into e raised to minus 2G. Okay, so remember these equations. Okay, the throughput is maximum when G is equal to 1, which is 37% of the total transmission data frame. So 37% of the time slot is empty, and 37 success, and 26% of the collision. So we cannot say that slotted Aloha is remove collision 100%. Okay, it is also the possibility of collision that I have explained here. But according to pure Aloha, slotted Aloha can remove collision more. Okay. So this is the pure Aloha and slotted Aloha. Next is CSMA. So CSMA is a carrier sense multiple access, ensure fewer collision as the station is required to first sense the medium, it is ideal or busy, before transmitting to data. So in CSMA, every station must check the another stations are ideal or busy. If it is idle, then it send the data. Otherwise, it wait till the channel becomes idle. So every station have to verify another stations are busy or idle. If they are idle, then they can send the data. See, for example, if station A wants to send the data, it will first sense the medium. Okay, they have to check. If it finds the channel is idle, it will start sending data. However, by the time the first bit of the data is transmitted from the station A, if station B requests to send the data and sense the medium, it will also find it idle and it will also send the data. This will result in the collision of the data from station A and station B. Okay, so it is also possible in this. If station A wants to send the data, it check the medium. Okay, medium is idle, channel is idle, so they send the data, and it only just send the first bit. Okay, so very less data is starting to send, and at the same time if station B is request to send and possible that they also find the channel idle is only one bit is transmitted yet. Okay, so in this scenario collision is occur from station A and station B. Okay, so this method was developed to decrease the chances of collision when two or more stations start sending their signals over the data link layer. Carrier sense multiple access required that each station first check the state of the medium before sending the data. Okay, so see here we have a ABCD stations. Okay, so this is the time, so T1 send the data. Okay, at that time B sends that station is idle, so they can send the data. After some time C sends that data channel is idle, so they send the data, and at that point D sends that channel is idle, so D send the data. So possibility of collision can decrease. Okay, so in CSMA we have a three types. The persistent method can be applied to help the station take the action when the channel is busy or idle. So there are three persistent method. First is one persistent method, second is non-persistent method, and third is P persistent method. So for one persistent method, the node sends the channel. If channel is idle, it sends the data, otherwise it continuously keep on checking the medium for being idle and transmit unconditionally with one probability as soon as the channel get idle. Okay, so here see channel check data, channel is busy or idle. Okay, so if it is idle then it send the data, and if it is busy then continuously it check. Okay, continuously check the it is busy or idle, and whenever it found that it is idle, then immediately it send the data. So the node sends the channel. If idle then send the data, otherwise it continuously check the medium for being idle and transmit unconditionally as soon as the channel gets idle. Okay, so continuously it is checked for the channel to be free, and whenever it become idle, it as soon as possible it send the data. So this is the one persistent in which you have to remember this continuously checking. Okay, second is non-persistent. The node sends the channel. If idle, it send the data, otherwise it check the medium after random amount of time, not continuously, and transmit when found idle. So see here they sense. Okay, channel is busy, so they wait. Okay, after some period of time they again check the channel is busy or idle. If again it is busy, then they also wait for some amount of time. Okay, and after that they again check, and here they found the idle, so they send the data. So in one persistent continuously checking, here we have to check for random amount of time. Okay, and P persistent, the node sends the medium. If it is idle, it send the data with P probability. If the data is not transmitted, then it wait for the some time and check the medium again. Now if it is found idle, then it send the with P probability. This repeat continuously until the frame is sent. It is used in the Wi-Fi and packet radio system. Okay, so here we have to continuously check. Okay, we have some time period, so here we have a fixed time in which we have to check the channel is idle or not. When we find the channel is idle, we have to send the data. So this is the P persistent data in which we send the data with P probability. Okay, next is CSMA CD. Station can terminate transmission of data if collision is detected. Okay, if collision is detected, station automatically terminate the transmission. It is operated in the medium access control layer. It sense of the share channel is busy for broadcasting and interrupt the broadcast until the channel is free. Okay. The CSMA CD collision is detected by broadcast sensing from the other stations. Okay, upon collision detection in CSMA CD, the transmission is stopped and a jam signal is sent by the station, and then station wait for a random time context before retransmission. Okay, if collision is found, this line is very important. Station can terminate transmission if collision is found, and after random amount of time they send the data again. So retransmission is performed. That is CSMA CD collision detection. Okay. So if collision is detected, station can terminate transmission automatically. Okay, next is CSMA CA carrier sense multiple access with collision avoidance. Okay, the process of collision detection involves sender receiving acknowledgement signal. Okay, if there is just one signal, then the data is successfully sent, but if there is two signals, okay, its own and the one with which it is collide, then it means a collision has occurred. Okay, so we have a sender and receiver. Sender send the data, receiver receive the data, and sender acknowledgement. If it is only one signal, then data is successfully sent, but if we got two signals, then data must be collide. Okay, to distinguish between these two cases, collision must have a lot of impact on the received signal. However, it is not so in wired network, so CSMA/CA is used in this case. Okay, so here we have to send, if data is successfully sent, then we have to send one signal, receiver send the one signal, and if the data is not successfully received, and if it is collision is occurred, then two signals are received at the sender side. So in CSMA/CA, avoid collision by interframe space, contention window, and acknowledgement. Station wait for a medium to become idle, and if found idle, it does not immediately send the data. Okay, rather it wait for a period of time called interframe space. Okay, after this time, it again check the medium for being idle. Okay, and after that it send the data. Okay, suppose I am session 1 and I am sending the data. Okay, I found the medium idle, but not immediately I send the data. After some time I wait, and after some period of time I again check the medium and it is still idle. Then I send the data. This period is known as the interframe space. Okay, this time period is known as interframe space. So if we found the medium ideal, then don't send immediately. Okay, wait for some time, and after that some time you check the channel again, and if it's still idle, then you send the data. Next is contention window. It is the amount of time divided into slots. Okay, we have to divide the time into slots. If the sender is ready to send the data, it choose a random number of slot as wait time, which doubles the every time medium is not found idle. If the medium is found busy, it does not restart the entire process, rather it restart the timer when the channel is found idle. Okay, so in this we have the amount of time which is divided into slot. Okay, if sender is ready to send the data, it choose a random number of slots to send the data. Okay, and if the channel is found busy, okay, it will not restart the entire process, rather it restart the timer when the channel is found again. Okay, at that time it stop the transmission. Okay, and after that they restart the timer, not they restart the entire process. Okay, so this is the contention window. And next is acknowledgement. The sender retransmit the data if acknowledgement is not received before timeout. Okay, that you all know very well. Okay, so thank you.